Hello, everybody, friends and family of Body of Christ Real Talk. Welcome to the show. I got a message right here, just a short message. I advise you to listen to my previous podcast I made for Super Saturday. I went everywhere on that as far as health and mind and body and focus and different things like that. So it wasn't a certain one topic message in the last several messages that I made, but I recommend you to go check those out. Maybe you can get something out of that and add your own as you will. But what I want to talk about something, I looked at this post. This is just a reaction on a post I have just seen on Facebook about the men over 60. That caught my eye right there because I just made 60, thank God, June the 3rd. I made 60, the big 60. Excuse me, I made 60 years old. And I reflect back sometimes, wow, man, I just could not picture me being 60 because you have that picture or that stereotype of 60 being somewhat old, which is not. And 30 years from 100, but it's still not old. But anyway, I'm 60 years old. And I said on my last podcast, I feel like I'm about 35 or 40. And I'm not saying that because, let me just put it this way. I would not be saying it if I didn't take on the different lifestyle that I started on my weight loss journey going on over a year ago, which would be June 12th, would be my 1 year anniversary, Lord's willing, of my new life of eating. I don't like to call it a diet too much. That keeps me going. New life of eating. But for clarity and understanding reasons, I'll just say diet. And most of the diet was just all meat, no carbs, all meat. Not every type of meat, but just an all meat diet, the meats that I like. Meat, fats and protein. Well, anyway, I read that message on which I also shared because I felt it was worth sharing on Facebook, and for the men, the niche that I wanted to reach with that are for the men over 60. And the women can read it too, but it's specifically for the men. And I just thought about being 60 years old. My desires and my wants and my needs and my focus is totally different than what I was thinking at the age of 59. Not totally, but a lot of it is different. Just say from 59 on up until 60 now, that the way I look at life and where I want to focus and I go. And it's amazing to me because my desires are what I want to do. You might hear these type of desires that a lot of 30-year-old men that will want to do or should do. And the things that I talk about, this can be such a benefit for young people to start taking those steps now of what I'll be talking about on my podcast, the last few shows that I talked about, starting off young. But as a 60-year-old, I just thank God that I don't drink anymore. I thank God that I don't smoke pot anymore. I still have several other struggles that I struggle with in my life, but that's okay. Until God come get me or till I leave before then in the heavenly places, those things may be with me. I might not take them with me because they're not going in the heavenly places, but I might struggle with them until I leave. But the thing is, the key is that I'm moving forward with my struggles. And men at 60, we can move forward with our struggles. Now, it's hard to move forward with a struggle if it's just you just babysitting it or you just decide to live in it. And I want to talk about lifestyle. I want to talk about things we don't owe nobody. And that's what I got out that message and everything. As we get this age, if you 60 years old or you have many kids, which I don't. I just have one. Thank God, that's all I want. Just one, a son, which I love very much. But if you have several kids, or you are married, which I'm not now, but I will be married, probably within the next 6 months to a year. But if you have those things, some people look at it as a liability. Some people look at it as an asset. It all depends. And I'm going to be using those terms off and on, making a point. When you're 60 years old, your children or even grandchildren can become a liability more than an asset. So, woo, Joe, what do you mean by that? Just read that message. It makes a lot of sense from this. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know him from Adam. But sometimes your children, I'm talking to the man now, daughters, sons, or whatever, your children or your grandchildren can become a liability more than an asset. And what do I mean by that? And I'm getting this is just my reaction and my perspective, is because you may feel, even at 60, you still owe them. Now, these are for the one that took care of their kids. They helped them, they brought them through, they nurtured them, and brought them through school and everything. And some of their kids, that's not kids no more. They might be in their 30s, might be in their 40s, might be still living in the house for one reason or the other. Or some of them might be even waiting there for you to croak so they can get your life insurance. Believe it or not, it's some out there for that, sadly to say. But my point is, your children and your grandchildren can become a liability more than an asset. You want them to be an asset. And I know that's a financial term. I understand that. But I'm just trying to, get something going here. And what I mean by that, they can slow you down for pursuing what you want to do at the age of 60. And how do they do that? They can slow you down because you're so bogged down trying to help them to pursue their career, which is nothing wrong with that. But if they are adults and they are still at home or not still at home, and they depend on you for everything still, it's okay to discipline and put your foot down and say no, or you help them through that to an extent, but don't let that be to a means that is going to slow you down, but you got to have, in other words, if you got some desires or some things that you want to do at the age of 60, it's okay to do that. It's okay to spend money on yourself. It's okay to invest in yourself at the age of 60. Don't let your children or even grandchildren slow you down. Now, what do I mean by that? You might have your daughters and your sons bringing your grandchildren to you, which is a beautiful thing. Now, I'm talking to the men that wants to move on. They feel they can't because they feel they got to take care of all their kids, grandchildren, and put them in school. No, you don't have to do that. If they're not in a bad situation, they don't have the parents no more, something happened to them, that's different. But I'm just saying, pursue your career. If you even want to start a career, because it's never too old to start a little short-term career, or if you want to start a business, or if you just want to travel, and you're 60 years old and you think you cannot do that because your grown adult kids and their grandkids slowing you down, you need to nip that in the bud, man. You need to nip that in the bud. It's okay to let go, in a sense, because until you let them know that they have to stop pursuing and doing those. If you already instilled that in them, and they're still holding on, and they don't have any mental issues or anything like that, it's time to let go. They have to fall on their own. They are grown now, and you are not responsible for your grandkids to the to the to the state that is going to slow you down from doing your traveling or doing the things that you want to do, because you are sacrificing your freedom and what you want to do so your kids can pursue and do what they want to do. That's at the age of 60. Now, if you choose to do that and you're happy of being that way, that's a different. But I'm only talking to the men that feels like they are stuck because they're still caught up in taking care of their grown children and their grown children, which is their grandchildren. You know, if you are a 60-year-old single male, divorced or widowed or whatever, and you're finna date or get married, and you all want to go somewhere, you should be free, and you are allowed to do that. Don't let your children and your grandchildren slow you down. They will be just fine. Believe me, they will find a way when you do what you have to do or what you want to do. It ain't got to be so much have to do, but what you want to do. It's okay. See? And these are for the ones that got several children or even people that they feel slowing them down. Or even a fiance or a wife. My point is, do not let that slow you down. Do not stall your freedom and your happiness because you feel you owe something and something you got to do for your adult children and their grandchildren. They are responsible for their children. We are there to help nurture and love them, but we're not responsible for their well-being. You understand what I'm saying? Not saying it's wrong to do that, and we should help out, no doubt. But if they're not trying to, and they're dependent on you financially, emotionally, and everything, that becomes a weight, and that becomes a stress. And you feel like you're missing life, in which you should not as a 60-year-old man. So I just wanted to put that out there. I was looking at that article and reading that article and everything like that, If you want to do things, you just got to do it. And say, this is what I'm finna do. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm finna do this. I don't care if they pant or whatever. I cannot watch the grandkids this time. You need to seek someone else or a daycare or someone else. I'm finna travel. I'm finna do this. Because you put your time in already. See, taking care of your kids is not supposed to be a lifetime. And when they're 50 and 60 years old, still dependent on you. No, that's not God's mandate. Especially if they marry. They're supposed to be as one with their own wife and take care of their own. They are responsible for that. If you nurture them and taught them that way, that's what, and then you go from there. You done your job. That's all I'm saying. I hate to call it a job, but you done your duty. And so it's okay to just go out, do your thing sometimes. You don't have to stay glued to taking care of your adult kids and their grandkids. And this is just a fact and real talk. God bless you all. Peace out. Joseph Brownlee, Body of Christ, Real Talk. For the men, 60 and over. God bless you. Peace out. Love you.